This episode is brought to you by The Loop by Catholic Vote.
Over 100,000 couples get married in the church every year in our country, and most of the marriage prep they go through is making a huge mistake. Find out what it is in this episode of The Catholic Money Show. If you're gonna get married, you gotta be prepared. That's marriage prep. Get ready. One of the biggest things that you'll do in your life. And you don't want to just walk right into it. I think there's a lot of wisdom that the church has when she says, hey, cool your jets, guys. We're not running off to Vegas this weekend. We're going to take some time and we're going to get ready.
And I think it speaks volumes what the church is suggesting to actually invest more in the preparation for the sacrament of marriage. Mm-hmm. You know, the other sacraments that we see, to either consecrated life or to the priesthood. How many years? How many years?
That's an engagement.
How many years of preparation are involved for good reason? But marriage is just as hard, but in different ways. And honestly, how many marriages would have been better off if they'd had a little bit more preparation on the front end? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Maybe not 7 years worth. That's not required. But something a little weightier, a little bit more than what the average couple has received out there. Mm-hmm. And the church has communicated that this is something that we need to be doing. Mm-hmm. We're seeing the divorce rate amongst even those married in the church is looking a whole lot like societies around the world. Mm-hmm. That obviously points to something.
Yes.
What's the old phrase? Measure twice, cut once?
Yeah.
Is that it? I didn't screw it up?
That's it.
And it's kind of, let's liken it to that.
Oh, interesting.
How many things could we just have prevented if we would have just prepared a little bit better? Another way of saying fail to plan.
Oh, go for it.
Fail to plan to fail? Did I get it again?
I will see your fail to plan to fail, and your measure twice, cut once, and I will raise you that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
I think I just used that one the other day, and maybe I screwed it up. Yes, there you go. How many of these isms could we dump onto the beginning of this episode?
We would have learned our lesson by now. But I know when you're so excited, you're in love. And it's like, at least maybe this is a little bit of...
I watched my parents get married. What do I need?
Wait, you what?
No, like I watched their marriage.
Oh, I was like, wait a second, you're not
I didn't watch
old,
them get married. No, no.
But it's like I've seen marriage. I've seen married life. I'm going to learn it all in this weekend or this afternoon workshop I got to go to.
I'm going to take this one quiz and that'll be enough.
Yeah. So there's some attitude adjustment on the part of the couples coming in. Some of that certainly is going to be alleviated by the church doing a better job talking about the importance of all this and making it very interesting and exciting. But even then, many marriage prep programs make this mistake. They make a huge mistake. Mm-hmm. And making this mistake can end up with the couples feeling resentment towards each other, feeling stressed out, getting in fights all the time, and can lead to separation and even divorce because we're forgetting something in the marriage prep.
Right. Yeah, and we could sit here and look at marriage prep from many angles. But today we're going to laser in on one.
Yes.
A very often overlooked. I'm not sure I have seen this as a component, a core component in any marriage prep program, unless you count the one that asked us to create it for their marriage prep program. Looking at you, Diocese of Kansas City.
But yes, so money. So many of these programs don't talk about money. When we got married, when we were getting ready to get married, we took the focus test, and I think maybe it's more of just a kind of a check and a diagnostic kind of thing. Like, have you even talked about these things? All these different things. And there's a couple questions on there about money. I don't remember what came up, but for us, but it's essentially just like, hey, have you talked about money? Okay, cool. If you have. And if you haven't, well, maybe you should talk about it sometime. And we need more than that. We need our couples to learn how to understand money, how to talk about money, how to handle it together as a team to serve their family.
And I'll add this. I will, in defense of the church, oftentimes on these marriage prep weekends or in these programs, they're oftentimes getting a couple who has not been well formed in their faith. And they are just doing their very best to try and communicate the gospel message and the beauty of the sacrament that this couple is about to enter into.
Absolutely.
So they can't even get to.
There's a lot of work to be
Can't
done.
even get to the practicals sometimes about, hey, let's talk about what life's going to be like when nobody's slept for 2 weeks and the baby is screaming at 3 a.m. Hey, let's talk about when your income gets pulled out from under you and somebody needs to go back to work, but one spouse is dealing with depression. Like these very real things that marriages bump into that are incredibly hard. But you almost can't, how do you even prepare somebody for some of those things? But so I understand why the church is not, she can't prepare us for every little thing that could come your way in marriage because it really can be a lot. But this is one of those things that if at least in that engagement time period, you can get a couple of those core foundational things settled in about money, you can then take those skill sets and use them throughout your entire marriage in a variety of circumstances, in a variety of different highs and lows that'll come your way. And I think that's really what's missing in marriage prep for many things, but specifically when we are talking about finances, it's just that it's not enough to have a conversation of, hey, how do you manage money? Yeah, that might be generous to say that programs even have that question.
Sure. Yeah.
I want to say again, in the test that we took, it was maybe something of maybe budgeting, or it was more of a how was money handled growing up.
Something.
And then we might have gotten a flag of it was different in your households, but we never got led through a conversation on how they were different. So that's just not enough.
Yeah. This episode of the Catholic Money Show is brought to you by The Loop from Catholic Vote. It is a daily email newsletter I love to open every day because Catholic Vote goes through and they pack it with the top headlines of the day, saints of the day, the best of Catholic blogs, the daily readings, everything you need in one email delivered to you straight in the morning. And they go through and they find the best sources, the ones you can actually trust, and put them in there. So no more needing to sort through what you find online. They do that work for you and send it to you every morning free in The Loop. And if you like Google Doodles, you're going to love The Loop because the name bar across the top changes all the time. I love to open it and see what the illustration is that day and then continue on down for the day's news and things to encourage and inspire me to lift me up in my faith. You can do the same by going to gettheloop.com and sign up. Again, it's totally free and totally awesome. Go to gettheloop.com to sign up. That's gettheloop.com.
Yeah, and money is so important. You could, those were, of course, fantastic examples that you gave. But some couples might go through life and, maybe they won't have kids, or maybe they won't ever get laid off or whatever. But they're all going to use money. They're all going to have to handle the finances of their family, whether it's the two of them, whether they've got 20 kids, anywhere in between. There's going to be money involved. And that's going to impact the relationship with each other, with any children they have, with other members of the family, with their relationship with God, with parish. All of these things, all of our relationships are touched in some way by money. And if we can help couples understand money better and use it in a Catholic way, they're going to be happier. They're going to have better relationships in all those areas. And so we got to talk about money. I know maybe you've only got a weekend or a morning and an afternoon or only, 4 meetings or whatever it is. There's a lot to fit in there. And like Amanda said, yeah, there's a lot of reasons why a lot of other good things don't get in there. But here we are. We're planting the flag. We're trying to make the case here that money should be involved somehow and in a good, practical way that they can take with them. They can do a little bit of work there and see the fruit of that throughout the rest of their marriage. Mm-hmm. So that money doesn't have to be the reason you got in a fight on your honeymoon.
Been there, done that, got the t-shirt.
Yeah. Charged the t-shirt. But it can be the source of unity, of something that pulls the couple together. And thankfully, been there and done that.
Mm-hmm. By God's grace, yes. Yes, we did.
Mm-hmm. So it's not just enough to say, hey, have you talked about money? Why don't you talk about money? But to have something that helps these couples, right? Because these are two individual people who are now coming together to be one. And that's happening on all sorts of different levels, including finances. Mm-hmm. So why don't we prepare the couple to do that? And in order to do that, like a lot of other things, whether it's communication styles or, expectations in the family, whatever it is, you have to kind of understand where you're each coming from. Mm-hmm. Share that with each other so you know the context of this other human being. And then together figure out where you want to go and how you want to get there.
Yeah. And so that's really what drove us years ago. We kept running into couples, engaged, newlyweds, but also those who've been married for decades. And the problem we kept seeing was that they had never gotten on the same financial page. And so that right there, a process that actually gets people to merge their financial lives, to become one, to speak a common tongue and a common language around this tool of money in their life, that is what needs to be in marriage prep. Okay, you know what? The brass tacks of budgeting, we can learn it later. Let's go ahead and laser in on paying off the debt. We can do that down the road. This process, though, of merging your financial lives, of becoming really one flesh with your money, that is what's missing. And if you don't do it in engagement, it's not like it's just going to magically happen once you get married. This is something, again, I mentioned that decades couples will come to us. They've been limping along for decades, that this has been a cross for them in their marriage. And it's really because nobody took them through the process of understanding their past with money, dreaming about and wondering where God might be calling them to go in the future and discerning that as a team, and then discussing what tools might be there available for them to actually go about making those things happen.
Which is exactly what we do in Money Together. We talk about your past. How was money when you grew up? Help you identify where you are with money. And then you can talk about that as a couple. We then walk you through figuring out where do you want to go together now, right? We know where we were. We want to know where we want to go, how we want to get there, what we want to leave behind, what we want to add in. And we take you through the 3 phases of financial intimacy, right? We're taking our 2 lives. We're bringing them together as one. We want to make sure that we're doing that with our finances, our financial lives too, to bring them together into one financial life shared together. We want to make sure we don't do too much too soon, and that we haven't done too little too late. So wherever you are, it's good to know. So it's perfect for, of course, engaged couples, newlyweds, but really anybody who wants to be on the same page with their spouse. Getting your money together is a really good place to start. So you can get your money together by getting your money together. And I got something for you. We know that money, finances, can be a source of a lot of tension and knots in your relationship. So to celebrate the upcoming feast of Our Lady Undoer of Knots, we're having a little bit of a sale. So hop on over to walletwin.com/money together, and you can take advantage of that sale. If you're watching this, somewhere around release, but really, at twice the regular price, it's still a steal. It is still something that's really going to be great for your marriage. So if you missed the sale, that's okay. It's still an incredible resource, but I'd like to do a little something extra for you. If you're a faithful listener, checking this out pretty soon, you can get that on sale at walletwin.com/money together. And it's great, right? It's great if you are. Money together is great if you are engaged or newlywed. It's a must. If you know somebody who's newly engaged or newlywed, it makes a great gift. You can get it as a gift for them too. So go over to walletwin.com/money together. You can learn about giving it as a gift. I think we mentioned Diocese of Kansas City St. Joseph incorporates Money Together into their diocesan-wide marriage prep program. So if your parish or diocese is interested in making Money Together a part of your marriage prep program, either online or to bring us out and do it in person, we'd love to chat and see how we can serve your couples. So just reach out to us at email@walletwin.com and we can work something out great for you. From all of us at WalletWin, thank you, God bless you, and until next time, bye for now.
This episode was brought to you by The Loop by Catholic Vote. Sign up at gettheloop.com.